So this video is to go over the directions for putting together this very bright and cheerful island Aloha card. And in your kit you will have these 3 die cut pieces, which were from a prior paper pumpkin kit that I had, and these were extra pieces. That's kind of the fun part about paper pumpkin, is they usually give you more things than what you need to complete the projects within the kit. So I had these and I thought they were perfect for this card, especially since, as I've mentioned before, we can't do a lot of stamping when you're not here in the class. So those pieces, a circle out of the So Saffron cardstock. Then I punched the Starburst piece from one of the background papers in this designer series paper set, and then I ran it through an embossing folder. This one has retired. It's the basket weave, but really any embossing folder would work. I just happened to grab that one and use it. And then the Aloha die that I die cut for you. It's a cute little thing, isn't it? This comes from the dies that match this stamp set. So this is the Timeless Tropical stamp set. Super pretty. I think you've probably seen a card or was in a class when we used the palm trees and die cut the palm trees after we stamped it. I just really like this font. It's really pretty, this cursive part of the word stamps that's in there. So I have, I always put these together, but these are the stamps from the Timeless Tropical set, and then these are the dies that match. And you can see we've got a die cut for the large flower and the medium flower, die cut for this cute little pineapple. This pineapple die cut doesn't match any of the stamps because it's quite large, but it's very pretty, got a lot of dimension to it. The die for the palm trees, one for this leaf, and then a couple extra pieces. So and that's where this Aloha came from, is from this set of dies. So that's what we're using for this card. And then, so those are all your small pieces. And then for the card, we have 2 pieces of the pattern paper pre-cut for you, a piece of the card that has been cut already. Going back to using some more vellum, this is going to be really fun for this card. And then the card base, which looks a little odd, but we're going to put this together. So it's 4 1/4 wide, and then this ends up being, your normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 2-inch piece here, and then another 2-inch piece. So we ended up cutting a piece out of the middle, but I cut this apart. I originally was going to leave this on here and have the card just open this way, but this piece added on just wasn't enough to keep it closed. So I decided to use a different card design that I think you'll be happy with how it stays closed on its own. So let's get started by putting the card piece together. So you're going to fold on that score line that I scored for you, just because it's easier so that you can see exactly where, and you're not trying to measure yourself. So give it a good crease so that it's going to stay down flat. Now this panel is from the bottom of the card. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this vellum piece, and you want the longest part. If some of your pieces might be square, but if it's not square, it's rectangle, you want the longest part to go across here. So this is going to be your piece that's going to hold the front of your card together, yet it's going to provide a little bit of peekaboo into the inside of the card. Okay, so what we want to do is start by putting some adhesive on the back of this piece first. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to put 2 strips. Now don't get too close to where it'll hit this edge, but really this paper should cover up almost all of it. So go ahead and put adhesive like this. Okay, so I put 2 strips near the top and 2 strips near the bottom. Now the top part is easy. You can go ahead and put that down, and it doesn't matter. This is all going to be hidden, so don't worry about getting it equal on each of these 2 panels. You just want it equal going side to side. Okay, so you want to have the same border on this side, but it doesn't matter how much of this is on the top and then how much will be on the bottom panel. So just press that down. Don't let this hit the bottom and glue down yet. All right, so we've got that. Now, oh, just like that. We don't want that to happen. There we go. Okay, now we're gonna put this in place. Just line it up with the very bottom of the card. See how it's all lined up all the way around there? Now, let this go down and grab that piece, okay? And that's what's gonna hold your, and you see how you can see that adhesive through the vellum? That's the downside of using vellum, but it is a really pretty add to a card. So see now your card is all put together, and it's gonna hold, and if we get this creased really nicely, that'll stay down for you, just like that. All right, so now we can go ahead and cover up this adhesive that's showing. And so each of these panels is going to go right on there like so. So let's get adhesive on the back of these panels. I'm going to go all the way around. And then go ahead and put this down and just try and keep your border the same all the way around as best you can. Card making is not intended to be perfect. That's why it's handmade. All right, and then do the top piece. Keep my flowers going right side up. Same thing. Make sure I've got a equal border all the way around, and then lay that down. Now we've covered up all of the adhesive that was showing from the vellum with those panels. Isn't that just so pretty? I just love it. It's a really fun way to do something a little different with your cards. All right, so then we're gonna start building this piece. Now another thing you can do, so when you build this piece, you really can put it anywhere you like. You can have it off to the side, which is, I think, what I'm gonna do. You could have it right in the center, really, any way you want. I think I'm gonna go to the side. What would be really fun, and I didn't pull one out to do this, but it'd be really fun to have like a little happy birthday stamped on the inside of the card, but poking through under the vellum. It would, because the vellum would make it really soft and subtle. That would be kind of cute. All right, so we're gonna build this. I'm gonna go ahead and just glue this piece down. If my adhesive's gonna come off, I'm gonna glue it down. There we go, it didn't like that bumpy texture on the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that onto the yellow circle. Just get that as close as I can. All right, and then I'm gonna just build my little background. And I'm gonna do all of these pieces flat, and I'm gonna use the fine tip glue pen to do this. It's pretty thin amount of glue that comes out versus, I love this glue too, the mono liquid glue, but it's white versus clear, and it comes out a little thicker than this one does. So these really, any way you want. I think I'm gonna start with this one, the sand dollar down first, then the starfish, and then the little bit of what is that? Like, it's not seaweed, but you know what it is. Anyway, put that there. And then once I've got these pieces down, then I'll add my Aloha. So, all right, time to start building. A little bit of glue on the back of this piece. And this is a nice strong glue too, so. And sometimes you have to be careful too with things that have a lot of texture, like this glitter paper has some texture. So if you're gluing on top of the glitter, you have to be careful with what type of glue you use. This one's a good strong one though, so I'm pretty sure it will hold where this starfish goes over top of the sand dollar. So just getting some glue on there. Put that down. Just like so. That looks good. Hold it in place for a minute. Allow it to dry. It's not caught it yet. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit for this guy. To the side. And I'm okay with that little bit sticking up like that. It gives it a little bit of dimension. I like that. Okay, and then the last piece is my Aloha. And if you don't want the Aloha on there, that's okay. You don't need to put that on there. You can save it for a different project and just have these three, maybe a little more centered on that mounting piece, and just put that right on your card, and then you could just stamp your greeting on the inside, or maybe poking out underneath the vellum like I was mentioning. So if you don't want the Aloha, that's all right. So there, that's that. So like I said, if you didn't use the Aloha, you could maybe center these three pieces a little nicer on this patterned paper. And then you could stamp like a happy birthday or whatever your greeting might be on the inside of the card, but right here where it would show from the front, that would be super cute. You could also add a happy birthday, you know, little banner down here, or even coming across the front and off onto the vellum. That would be cute too. So if you wanted to do something that was more like happy birthday, you could do that too. So there's my piece, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and attach it to the front of this card. Now I don't want to attach anything on in the middle where the vellum is, because that glue will show through on the other side. Let me get this guy closed up. So what I'm gonna do is just put adhesive on the top and bottom of that panel piece. Don't you love trying to get this little pokey guy in there? Yeah, that's not going to happen right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. So make sure I've got the top right there. I'm just putting adhesive just right up there at the top, and then flip and put it right at the bottom. There isn't a lot of overlap, so there's not a lot of room for it. And then I'm going to just put this right to the side. There we go. And then there's your card, all finished. And it's a fun little flip card, and look, it even looks good from the inside. And like I said, you could always stamp a happy birthday word right there. There you go, and that's it. Thank you.